The creative minds at Industrial Light and Magic specialize in letting their imaginations run wild. They turn back time to bring dinosaurs to life in Jurassic Park, but the computer-generated images required for Jumanji were far more complex.
It's so complicated and dense, you can't really see very much unless you zoom in.
Funnest part of the project, always throwing stuff back and forth and talking about design, and then getting down to, okay, let's storyboard this stuff out and see what we really have. And when we put it all down, we came back here and looked at it and we said, wow, all these different sequences. It was pretty daunting from the start.
As strange as it is, it's still so much fun because in each scene there's some effect.
Well, it's like the old, what if you want to make it like the old movies?
Many kimasabi. Many buffalo, come.
When you read the story, you immediately realize there is a gigantic and awesome production challenge in this film, which is you have to create a stampede inside a house.
With dinosaurs, we had a little leeway because people didn't know how they moved and didn't know what they really looked like. But people can go to the zoo, so, you know, it makes your job that much harder.
Run, you fools!
There's a full animal stampede. It was an open call that day, so we had elephants, rhinos, zebras, a couple of wombats. Warthogs were late. They had a 5 o'clock call, but they came at 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, Africa on Ice is proud to present.
Look, it's Banzai Africa.
You know, it's always when you're doing those things where something could go wrong that you have to be careful.
You're great.
I'm fast. I can't believe we did that.
Go it again.
We'd shoot the side with Robin running out of the library, and then the effects guys actually built a big steel rhino and rammed it through that wall for us.
When you see the blue horn, that means it's right. Sound speed, Mark.
Wall, action! And that was the rhino's last shot.
We take those 2 shots, and we end up compositing Robin in the shot and keep him right in there in the middle of the action.
Wow.
Wow.
There haven't been that many effects where you have to hallucinate it or actually imagine it. There's just a few. You find yourself going home, how was work? I don't know.
Come back and huddle here and say, okay, what's our big problem here? We need to have the lion guy solving the long hair problem and how that mane's going to move cleaner and less messed up.
We had to solve a lot of technical problems with the hair, like trying to make our hair match the animatronic lion. It's about 1.5 million hairs or something like that. So there has to, all those things have to work together, and that was a big technical problem.
The way animatronics develop is just like us. They're scrambling from the start. We don't really know what this lion looks like until they finally get to their first day of shooting and get there.
Well, this is our beauty shot of the lion. There are about 7 or 8 shots where he appears in the movie, but he doesn't ever appear for as long or close up as this shot.
The monkeys were supposed to be fairly human-like, and then gradually through the course of development, the monkeys started getting more and more ape-like in some way. We took reference trips down to the San Francisco Zoo to look at the look and the fur and the motion of a whole bunch of different species of monkeys, and then we finally ended up with something that's sort of unlike any monkey that actually exists anywhere in the known universe. So yeah, it was about a 3-month process to develop the look of the monkeys with a lot of incremental changes. And then we also had Jeff Campbell and his group doing modeling. You saw the models, the maquettes that were done by Richard Miller's group over in the model shop.
He wants to try a little different ear position. I know we had it higher than this before. I think we're closing in on it overall. I just think maybe without the hair, we're getting the impression that he's a little bit, he's got the old alfalfa ears sticking out there, so we can just crush them in a little bit.
Concurrently with the modeling, we had another group of people doing the paint job. You view the model in 3D while you do your painting. The movements of the monkeys are pretty much done entirely by hand by the animators, and then from that they would work with sort of stick figures, or like the skeletons of the figures, and get them to move around. We had a bunch of software written up, most important of which was the fur rendering software, and that's the software that actually puts the individual hairs onto the monkey skin. The opening shot in the kitchen is where we sort of present the audience with so much eye candy that they can't possibly take it all in. The kitchen is obviously real. The monkeys are obviously not real, but the props and things that they're throwing around, some of them are real and some of them are computer generated.
We'll take care of anything that the monkeys are interacting with for a long time. We'll model in CG, but anything they knock off, we'll do some practical stunts there, because it's always easier to get it in the camera if you can.
It looks like a room with a whole bunch of things sort of floating in air. There's a few strings and poles and stuff, which we then have to erase with a digital paint system. And then, my goodness, what's going on here?
Important to Joe to tie in Robin and the kids to what was going on. So we did most of those with splits, where we'd shoot the side with Robin running back and forgetting the game, picking up the game board and running out of the library with nothing going on. And then we'd shoot the side of the wall actually blowing up, where the effects guys actually built a big steel rhino and rammed it through that wall for us.
And set. Ready? And action.
You and Billy Jessup, yeah, you swapped spit, didn't you?
You didn't even kiss me.
Oh, yeah,
please.
right.
You didn't even, we were sitting like this far apart.
You're the one who's immature. Oh, Sarah, you are not the sharpest tool in this shed.
Yeah,
Really?
I get my point across, don't I?
You feel that?
What?
Listen. And action.
Set.
Stampede. Stampede! 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 Run! Run! Escape! Ah!
Give me the playback on that right away.
So in the end, we end up taking the shot of Robin, going back, getting the game board and running out, and the steel rhino coming through the wall. We take those two shots and we end up compositing Robin in the shot and mat him over where all the books are flying and all hell breaks loose.